Right now at noon, the latest on the shooting death of a 14-year-old girl in Evansville, what the parents are saying of the victim. Plus, China punches back as President Trump's new reciprocal tariffs take effect, how countries are responding to what the administration is saying about negotiations. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. Right now, Madison police are investigating a shots fired incident at a gas station on the east side. Several callers reported hearing 3 gunshots last night outside this Quick Trip on Buckeye Road. Police say the suspects and victims left the scene before officers arrived. A bullet hit one unrelated vehicle. So far, we do not know of any injuries. We're learning more about an Evansville shooting that left a 14-year-old girl dead. 3 people are in custody in connection to her death. Police say the shooting happened Sunday morning in a home on South Madison Avenue. First responders took the child to the hospital where she later died. Family members identify her as Florencia Henthorne. Hunter Dreyfall and Alyssa Ahrens are charged with sex crimes against a child. The criminal complaint says the 14-year-old had been staying at Hunter Dreyfall's home for a week. Officers say at some point an argument broke out about selling sexual videos Dreyfall and Ahrens made with the 14-year-old. Both gave conflicting stories about the shooting. News 3 Now spoke with the child's parents. Florencia's mother says she spoke with her daughter on the phone the morning of her death. She says there was no indication that anything was wrong.
She was pretty open with us and would, for the most part, tell us at least who she was with. And she never told us about these people.
If she ever felt scared or anything, she would call me. She never called me.
If you would like to support Florencia's family, they have a GoFundMe set up to help with funeral expenses. We have a link to it under this story at channel3000.com. This afternoon, China is raising tariffs on U.S. goods to 84%. This comes as President Trump's new reciprocal tariffs take hold. Natalie Brand reports from Washington.
U.S. trading partners are hitting back after President Trump's reciprocal tariffs kicked in overnight. Beijing responded to the administration's additional 50% tariff on Chinese imports, raising its retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods to 84%.
No one wins in a war, but it's proportionality, and the proportionality for the Chinese is going to be much worse.
The European Union has announced retaliatory tariffs on more than $20 billion of U.S. goods. But countries are also signaling they want to negotiate. The administration says it's heard from about 70.
I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir.
President Trump also criticized the members of his own party who are questioning his tariff strategy, saying it would be a mistake for Congress to take over trade negotiations.
As I talk to my farmers, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty, because when we get into a trade war, usually the first pawn in the trade war is agriculture.
U.S. Trade Representative Jamison Greer returned to Capitol Hill for a second day of questioning about the administration's strategy.
I think that tariffs are an imposition on foreign goods that can protect American workers and American products.
President Trump also said Tuesday night he will impose new tariffs on imported pharmaceuticals, but did not say when. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Last year, the U.S. imported more than $213 billion worth of medicines. President Trump insists that's because the U.S. is such a big buyer of pharmaceuticals. The new tariffs will force the drug manufacturers to make their products in America. The UW-Madison Faculty Senate is condemning police intervention during last year's illegal protest encampment on Library Mall. The Faculty Senate is calling for the restoration of shared governance in campus protest policies. They say it's due to concerns about harm caused to students, staff, and faculty, specifically individuals of color. They also point to concerns about the impact of the university's inclusive environment. Well, we have a messy day of weather ahead. First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano has the latest storm track, and it's on the way to southern Wisconsin.
Yeah, right now we're not seeing anything yet, but we are expecting those showers and a few snow showers as well to impact our region later. Now, taking a look at the current radar, a lot of that precipitation, this is the 3 things to know. Here's a look at the current radar. A lot of that precipitation really drying out as it gets closer towards southern Wisconsin. A lot of it is really further northwest with some snow showers further northeast. Now, as we take a look at the forecast throughout the rest of the day, we're expecting more of that precipitation to fill in across the area, and we'll see a little bit more consistent rain once we get to the later afternoon and into the evening. But right now, we are not expecting that rain that we initially had forecasted for. Like I mentioned, everything really drying out, but we still could see a little bit of a wintry mix, especially for areas east, and we're going to see mostly rain, but some of that rain could possibly freeze over if it does get into that freezing rain category. Now, as we get through the overnight hours, a lot of that precipitation will continue pushing off to the east and out of the area, but we still are going to be seeing some light precipitation as we head into the overnight hours and for Thursday morning, but that consistent rain is really going to be the case for today. Now, if we do see some snowfall accumulation, it'll be anywhere in the blue that you see right there, but my guess is we're not going to see much in the form of snow. We may not even see any snowflakes across the region, as of right now it looks like we'll mostly see rainfall. But despite that, it is still pretty chilly out here, but we are going to see those temperatures warm up. I'll talk more in detail about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you for Maine weather. Thank you. Well, happening tonight, the Green Bay Packers will be at Garver Feed Mill in Madison for their tailgate tour. Fans can meet current players Josh Jacobs, Tucker Kraft, and Lucas Van Ness. Former players Eamon Green, Jermichael Finley, and John Michaels will also make an appearance. Packers CEO Mark Murphy will be there too. This marks his final tailgate tour as he prepares for the draft in Green Bay later this month. Doors open at 5 with the event starting at 6. Tickets are $75. The Badgerland Girl Scouts are seeing fewer cookie sales compared to previous years. Without enough sales, some of the Girl Scouts will miss out on planned opportunities like summer camp and traveling to Washington, D.C. for the National Girl Scout Convention. That's why they're looking for cookie heroes to step in and help.
You can go online to our website, gsbadgerland.org, and click Be a Cookie Hero. That'll take you to a page where you can see a list of Girl Scouts and what their goals are to do with their cookie sales. You can choose which Girl Scout you'd like to support. You can sort by zip codes. You can find a Girl Scout right in your local community and buy the cookies from them.
Right now, 72,000 packages of cookies are looking for a home. All the cookie flavors are in stock and available for purchasing, including Toastiers. This is the Toastiers' final season, so once they're gone for good. And now I'm hungry for a cookie. Still ahead for us this afternoon, Uber unveils the nation's most forgetful city, plus how much U.S. consumers will be spending this Easter.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon. Moving forward.
Easter is April 20th, and retail analysts say consumers are hopping to it when it comes to holiday shopping. A new National Retail Federation report shows U.S. consumer spending for Easter is expected to rise about 5% this year to an estimated $23.6 billion. At the top of shopping lists, candy, food, and gifts, with consumers expected to spend more than $3 billion on Easter candy alone. And Uber has unveiled the nation's most forgetful city. Uber executives announced Tuesday New Yorkers left behind more items in Uber vehicles than residents of any other city. The most commonly forgotten items were keys, wallets, and phones, with a whopping 1.7 million iPhones and Androids left in the back of Uber vehicles in 2024. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers at this hour. The Dow's up 498 points, NASDAQ up 388, and the S&P 500 up 32. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270, or you can, 2833. I suppose I should finish the phone number for you. Or you can submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam Yankee has the farm numbers ahead, plus Jacob returns with the firstborn forecast, and later on Live at 4, where the state budget stands right now, months after Governor Evers proposed it. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Yeah, today we've got a springtime celebration that we're thinking about. Not necessarily something that happens in every community, but it's going to be happening coming up this Saturday out in Jefferson. They're calling it the Blessing. I've seen this more than a few times around the state of Wisconsin, where farmers bring in sometimes livestock, sometimes seeds. Maybe it's a chicken. In this case, it's going to be tractors heading to St. Mark's out in Jefferson. The blessing is basically when the pastor or the priest comes out into the parking lot and blesses whatever utility item, animal, or what have you that a farmer brings in to kind of look for good luck, I guess we'd say, or the blessing for everything that they're going to be doing in the growing season of 2025. Now, folks out in Jefferson have been reinstating this blessing for the past couple of years. This year, they are hoping that people not only bring their big tractors, but they're also encouraging the next generation of farmers, the younger kids, to bring their pedal tractors in for a blessing as well. If it's not something you've ever seen before, they are looking forward to plenty of folks enjoying and coming along for the blessing of the tractors out at St. Mark's in Jefferson. It's going to be this Saturday starting at 9 a.m. And like I said, a lot of other communities around Wisconsin do this, where they'll come into town and, like I said, some have even brought livestock, hoping for a blessing from the priest or the pastor. Just a little something for the springtime activities. Well, it was a springtime activity last week, and the 68th annual Wisconsin Beef Improvement Association's bull test sale took place last weekend in Platteville. By the way, this is one of the oldest bull test sales happening in the United States. Alan Arndt, president of the Wisconsin Beef Improvement Association, says it was a record breaker. They sold 68 bulls. These are breeding bulls, averaging about $5,358 each. It was record-breaking. Last time they saw numbers like that was in 2022. This year, they averaged $500 over the 2022 record. The highest-selling bull was an Angus bull that came from Twin Creek Angus in Fort Atkinson, Iowa, sold for $9,000. Another Simmental bull sold for $6,500. The bulls came from Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, and Montana, and going back to just about as many states. Congratulations on that record-breaking sale. Dairy continuing to probe higher on these prices. Barrel cheese up 1 3/4 at $1.77 1/4. 40-pound block cheese up 1/2 at $1.70 3/4. Double A butter on Wednesday up 1/4 cent, $2.31 1/4 per pound. There you go. Bring me a chicken, Josh. I'll take it out Saturday and get it blessed. We'll see how many egos it brings to us in the calendar year.
I love it. And those tractors are going to have some muddy tires with all that moisture we have on the way later today, too.
Yes, not looking forward to that lumpy moisture. I don't want any more of it.
I know. All right, Pam. Well, you have a wonderful afternoon. Stay dry.
See you tomorrow.
Well, Madison Staple is returning next month with a special theme to celebrate the city's academic community. The Madison Night Market will be back on State Street May 8th. It is the first of 5 scheduled for this year. Each market will have its own theme. May's 8th market is celebrating UW-Madison. As always, there will be local vendors, live music, and food trucks. You can find more details, including the other themes, on our website. Well, like we've been talking about, a cold and wet day ahead. First, for meteorologist Jacob Montesano has the latest track. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Yeah, temperatures are going to be on the cooler side. That's going to continue for tomorrow. And we also could be seeing a little bit of that precipitation continue tomorrow as well. But we'll see a little bit more consistent rain today. It will get better by the weekend. But as we take a look at the current radar, everything is really struggling to form right now in southern Wisconsin. We are very dry still. We are seeing some showers off to the west, some snow showers further northeast in Lake Michigan, but nothing really close to our area yet. However, we are still expecting those showers, especially for Madison and areas to the east. The further west you're located, it looks like you folks won't see quite as much rainfall. And even during those afternoon, evening hours when Madison and areas to the east are expected to see some showers, it looks like it will be a lot lighter than we initially anticipated for. And we also are not expecting much in the form of snow. Now, we still could see snow as miles are still in a big disagreement over this afternoon, which is very uncommon considering it's going to happen this afternoon. Usually they're a little bit more consistent, but some miles bringing a lot of snow. This one specifically not bringing that snowfall, bringing those light showers and clearing them out by the early overnight hours. Now, as we take a look at Thursday morning, we're going to see some light precipitation move back into the region. However, it's not going to be quite as widespread as today's rainfall. Very spotty across the region, and we'll especially see that rain in the morning with some dry conditions by the afternoon and evening. And as we head into Thursday night into Friday morning, we may still potentially some lingering sprinkles, but by Friday afternoon, we are expecting drier weather. Now, looking at the rain chances after that, we're going to be dry for Friday and Saturday to end the weekend. But then we do have an increase in rain chances on Sunday. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be a big system that will impact us all day. Just a few passing showers, maybe a few isolated storms, and that might continue into Monday. But it does look dry. And the fact that it does look dry is going to be important because it's going to be very nice on Sunday. A lot of people may want to get out and enjoy the weather. So throughout the afternoon, we'll have highs in the middle to upper 40s, maybe lower 50s further west as some sun does possibly come out. And as we look a little bit further towards the weekend, like I mentioned, we're going to see some warmer temperatures. Here's the farmers market forecast. We'll start out rather chilly as temperatures will be in the 30s. Then it's going to warm up very quickly into the middle and upper 40s by the late morning, and then by the early afternoon, we'll be in the 50s. Will likely rise into the 60s by the later afternoon hours, so definitely much better by the time we get to the weekend. Now, before I show you the full 7 to 10 day forecast, I do want to mention that the statewide tornado drill is tomorrow. There will be 2 tests, one at 1:45 and one at 6:45, and it will likely happen considering there is no chance of severe weather. Now, as we look at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, like I mentioned earlier, we're not really going to be seeing much in the form of precipitation after the rain we see today and into tomorrow. Really, the next chance will be Sunday, but right now it doesn't look like it's going to amount to much. The bigger story will be those warmer temperatures. Highs will be in the 60s. A few days next week may drop into the 50s, but it's still a lot warmer than what we're seeing right now. So we'll finally get to those spring-like temperatures in just a few days.
And after all the moisture with the sun coming out, we're going to see things greening up too.
Yeah, that is also some good news. And the fact that we're not really expecting that snowfall today, mostly just rain now, that will also help keep it green.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, on the Health Watch this afternoon, the latest measles outbreak has now topped 600 cases in 23 states, including the first case reported in Hawaii. Most of them have been in Texas, where 2 unvaccinated children have died. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sat down exclusively with CBS News for his first network TV interview since becoming Health and Human Services Secretary. He says he is encouraging people to get vaccinated against measles, a change of heart for Kennedy, who once wrote that measles vaccines are unnecessary and risky.
That you're saying that, what's the position philosophically of the federal government in terms of public
The
health?
federal government's position, my position is people should get the measles vaccine, but the government should not be mandating
Understand.
those. You know what I've always said during my campaign and every public statement I've made, I'm not going to take people's vaccines away from them. Right. What I'm going to do is make sure that we have good science so that people can make an informed choice. And we are doing that.
You can see more of this exclusive interview tonight at 5:30 on the CBS Evening News. The Overture Center will host its annual blood drive later this month. It's scheduled for April 22nd from 9 to 2. Those who enter the blood drive have a chance to win a pair of tickets to Black Violin on Friday, April 25th at 7 p.m. Donors giving blood to the American Red Cross between April 14th through the 30th will receive an American Red Cross t-shirt while supplies last. They will also be entered for a chance to win a $5,000 prize with 3 winners to be selected. Up next, Howard is preparing for your Easter or Passover meal in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
With Easter and Passover right around the corner, now's the time to start stocking up on eggs. I mean, between all the baking and decorating, you'll want to make sure you have plenty on hand. And once you taste our deviled egg dip, you'll want to add another dozen to your shopping cart. Let me tell you, this is a lot easier to make than traditional deviled eggs. We start by hard boiling and peeling a few eggs. Once they've cooled, we put them in a food processor along with some mayo, and that can be regular or light, a squeeze of mustard, and a little salt and pepper. We put the top on and give it a whirl. You may need to scrape down the bowl once or twice to get it silky smooth. You could even add a bit of fresh dill, some hot sauce, or a spoonful of pickle relish for an easy and fun twist. This dip tastes like the best deviled eggs you've ever had without all the hard work. And with all the company coming over during the holidays, I suggest you set this out surrounded with some cut-up veggies and let everyone help themselves. So to get the recipe for our deviled egg dip, all you need to do is visit our website. I'm telling you, you really need to try this. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an excellent way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Here's Jacob with the final check of the forecast.
Thanks, Josh. We're going to be seeing that precipitation later today into tomorrow. Tomorrow, the precipitation will be very light. A lot of the area may not see any rain tomorrow, but temperatures will still be cool. Then we'll warm up for Friday and the weekend. 60s will return. And then next week, they'll fluctuate a little bit between the 50s and 60s, but still warmer than what we're seeing today and tomorrow.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for joining us today at noon. We're back with more on Live at 4. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.